Hey, Pedro and Betty fam, this is Frank here. I'm sitting here at the studio desk editing this video, and I wanted to take a minute and just kind of give you some context and film a quick intro. Mike and I had an opportunity to sit down with Sarah about 6 weeks ago, maybe a little bit longer ago, um, and kind of interview her and learn the heart behind the Sweet Julia Grace Foundation, how it got started, why it got started, who Julia was, and just the real meat and potatoes of it all. Um, we want you to see this because we want you to see what we fell in love with, why we're doing what we're doing, why we've decided to link up and partner with the Sweet Julia Grace Foundation going forward, and just to help you guys see what this bike means to us. Yeah, it's just a motorcycle, but at the end of the day, it really is a whole lot more than that. Sometimes we can get wrapped up in the fact that we're building a bike, we're building a rad chopper, um, we're doing things that we love to do and forget the real heart behind it. It's not necessarily to raise money, which is always a plus, but really it is to bring attention to this foundation, what they do, and get you involved. You can go to the website www.sweetjuliagrace.org and see more about what they do, how they do it, how you can help. You can go to www.sweetjuliagrace.org/chopper and get information on the raffle, buy a ticket, donate in other ways. But yeah, that's it. I won't go much longer. And here's the interview. All right, Pedro and Betty's fam. This is Frank and Mike here with Sara Knight from the Sweet Julia Grace Foundation. We've had a lot of people ask questions about who, what, where, and when the Sweet Julia Grace Foundation came to be. So we wanted to bring the person with all the answers to you. So, Sarah, if you could just tell us a little bit about how Sweet Julia Grace came to be.
Okay. So, obviously, it's in honor of my daughter, Julia. So, Julia Grace passed away in 2013. And when she passed away, I just really kind of struggled with what do I do next? Because for the last 12 years of her life, I had done nothing but be her mom and my son's mom. Obviously, I was her full-time caregiver, nurse, doctor, best friend, mom, therapist, and all those things. And so when she passed away, I just really didn't know what to do next. So had no plans to start a nonprofit, by the way. Side note, it wasn't like I was like, oh, let me do this. It was not part of the plan. I even remember like sitting there, actually, I was talking to my dad like a few days after she passed, and I'm like, how do I survive this? What do I do next? And his advice to me then was, you just take one step at a time, one day at a time. So a few months after she had passed away, I had really been prayerfully seeking God on what to do next, really. And also, we had a memorial fund for her, and we were going to do something with that memorial fund. We thought it was going to be as simple as like making a donation to someone else. Right. And to be quite honest, I was prayerfully asking God, like, what do I do? And one night I had a very clear vision of the Sweet Julia Grace Foundation. It all kind of just came to me all at once. And I saw a little girl holding an umbrella, and I heard, helping children dance in the rain. And the reason that this quote is so special to us is because when Julia was here, for the 12 years she was here, that was her life quote. She went through so much while she was here. And she really did teach us that life is not about waiting for the storms to pass. It is learning to dance in the rain. And so whenever I started the foundation, it was the inspiration and the vision that helped me take the first step. Without that, I would not have been able to do it because I was a grieving mother with lost. And but it was really the inspiration that kind of strengthened me and gave me the focus to do it. And my whole goal was I want in the middle of these families' lives so that we can see what we can do to help. And that's how it got started.
That's amazing.
Absolutely.
So how many years now
So we turned 10 this summer.
Oh my gosh.
We
10.
turned 10 this summer. So we became a nonprofit in 2014. So Julia passed in 2013. We helped our first child about a month after she passed away, before we were even officially a 501c3. And a lot of what happened during that experience with helping that family helped me kind of fine tune maybe what we were going to do. Because what I found while we were helping that family, which is a whole story in itself, is that the community was willing to help. And that was like eye-opening for me, because I realized that I could ask the community to help me do what I wanted to for these families. And so that was kind of like, oh, well, let's do this. So I've got the community's support. I've got these families who need help. Now what? So it was a lot of learning things the very hard way. But a few months into like the process of getting approved, we became a nonprofit in 2014. So we turned 10 this year. It's obviously at one of our recent fundraisers, I said that out loud for the first time, and it was like such a, oh my gosh, we turned 10 this year. And it's like a bittersweet thing. Like, I'm like, we turned 10 this year, but that also is, it's bittersweet for me to say that and to even ponder on that, because that means it's 10 years since she's been here, you know? So it's like, we've had 10 years of like amazing experiences helping the bravest, most resilient families you'd ever meet. But it also is a big number for how many years she's been gone.
Right. Yeah.
So.
We were talking before all of this started about organically meeting people and within the chopper community as far as it goes with us. But I didn't realize until all of this got started and you started sharing some stuff on your page that I'm actually good friends with one of your rain dancers.
Yes. Yes.
And I had no idea, and she, her mom contacted me and she was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it's you and you guys are doing this. And I had, it's just, it's amazing, the things like that in life, but definitely how you were speaking to how the community, just is willing to jump in and, I, after finding that out, I went and searched and I found a video where you all redid her room for her and made it into like a classroom and stuff like that. And going in and out of the windows.
Oh yeah,
so you,
that was.
You don't bring contaminants into the house, and it's just.
Yeah, she's worth every window climbing experience we all had. But that was like, her dad had to build us actually a platform to climb up onto to get into the. So yeah, because her immune system is so fragile that she cannot be exposed to anything. So her and her mom are, they're kind of in a sense stuck in their home and isolated. And so this was kind of in the height of COVID too, because I guess this would have been in 2022, maybe 2021. So we had started talking to her before COVID, and I already knew that we had to be super careful with whatever we did for her. But after that happened, she was like, I don't know how we're going to do this. I'm like, well, I guess we could send you everything that, and you could you all could do it on. And I was like, I don't want you to have to do it. Like, we're going to figure this out. And so I'm like, Mom, Dad, do you want to climb through a window with me? Because like, they're the ones helping me. So yeah, and it turned out amazing. And she was just so thankful. And yeah, she sends me pictures in that room all the time now. So
I'd say with 10 years strong now, you've got a lot of stories like that.
Oh, I actually, in so much that we do, actually, nobody ever really knows about, because it's not like I share what I have to on social media and on our website, just so everyone knows what they're doing when they support us. I want everybody to see, because people are volunteering and giving and partnering and sponsoring. And so I want, like, we're doing this together. This is like, we're all doing this together. So I want everybody to see, but there's some things that are so intimate and personal for families that we do that never gets shared on social media. So in 10 years, we've helped over 300 families. And
that's amazing.
Yeah, and a lot of them are like I wish I could bottle every story And everything that I experience with every child and parent and sibling of that child, I wish I could bottle it and just like like pour it out into the world,
Mm.
because these families are like, they'll change your lives. Every single family I've met has changed my life, and is the reason I keep doing this. So
Yeah, I can speak to that. Some of the people watching know probably that how this came to be was Sarah reached out for me to do some photography at their fall. It was the West Virginia Fall Festival for the Sweet Julia Grace Foundation to provide family portraits and some like event photography, and give them an opportunity to have family portraits when it's really hard to do it. So
absolutely,
they were going to be there. I was there. I knew within 5 minutes in the first family that there was
you're stuck with me forever.
I did. I mean, you could say that when it started to get a little hard to see through the camera.
Yeah.
I knew that these kids were changing my life, and you know, another 20 minutes in, I knew that we were going to do something. because we as you guys know, we'd talked about building a what we've called a charity shop for a while, and we were searching for
who to build it for.
And I knew, and I told her we were building it before I even talked to you.
Yep.
So
as you were leaving, you're like, so I know you don't have time to talk about this, but we're gonna build a chopper and we're gonna raffle it off for you. I'm like, okay.
What's a chopper?
We don't know what a chopper is, but we're going to build it, and it's going to be great.
Like, which chopper are we talking about?
We're building me a helicopter. But it's as I've developed a relationship with you, and we worked together on this project, and it just keeps turning into this thing that's way bigger than I ever dreamed it would be. That really speaks to the amount of heart and effort that you put into everything you do for these kids. So tell us a little bit more about what you do to help these families.
Oh, so, I think it's so hard to like put that into a sentence, but every family that I meet, like when I first meet the family, I have a conversation with the mom, either over the phone or dad sometimes, but usually it's the mom over the phone or in person. And they basically share their story of their child, when their child was diagnosed, what they've been through, all the things they're currently facing medically or emotionally. And it's like all of a sudden I'm in their world, in like the most inner parts of their hearts, really, because they share their story. And sometimes it might be the first time they've ever shared their story, to be honest, because a lot of times when you have something going on with your child, everybody around you knows the story.
Right.
So you've never had to stop and be like, well, let me tell my story. And so a lot of times it's like, it's obviously, it's a lot. I think for them and for me, just to kind of hear, because usually when they're telling it to me, it's like they feel free to tell me everything and anything. And so when they're sharing that, usually I can hear things that maybe they don't even know about what they need. Sometimes they reach out to me and they actually have a very unique request immediately. Like, hey, my child needs a special needs stroller and insurance denied it. Can you help? Or I need a special seat for them to sit and eat, or, so like there might be a specific request because they have actually been denied resources somewhere else. But sometimes they don't know what they need, and it comes over time. Everything we do for a family is customized. So we grant wishes for the child if they have a wish. So we do room makeovers, and we just actually we have a little guy who's fighting cancer, and he's now homebound, and he used to play games on his phone, and now he's a little bit more medically fragile, and so he wanted a gaming computer. And so that was his wish. And so when we did it, though, we never just do something like that. We're like, okay, can we have a whole corner of your house for at least 3 hours? Because, we built him a gaming desk and a gaming computer and speakers and a cool gaming chair and like a cool backpack to carry it in. So all the things that on top of what they were asking for. So we do, things like that, grant wishes. But we also fill in a lot of gaps. Like I would say the majority of what we do for families is we fill in the gaps that other resources won't fill in. And so that really does look a lot of times like for children who are medically fragile or have special needs, it if you add the word special needs to anything, it increases the price 4 times, 5 times, and it starts out at $3,000-$4,000. So a lot of times what we help families with are the things like that they really need to take care of their children better, whether it's comfort or travel or being able to take them for a walk around the neighborhood in a special needs stroller that the family can all go, walk side by side with. But we also help families with like day-to-day needs they have. So a lot of our families, sometimes like mom or dad has had to quit working. And so they might need help with their house payment or groceries or things like that. So we it's so customized what we do for each family. It's like it's almost like everyone's been different,
Yeah.
So
I'm sure you all are able to offer a lot of connective resources as
Yes.
well, because I can imagine even 5 years into a child's illness,
Yeah.
a lot of these families probably still don't know about a ton of resources available to them.
Yeah.
So
a lot of times they've never heard of us and they're like, how have I never heard of you? So there's a lot of connections, a lot of and we do a lot of that side, like that back end research, so that when a family does reach out to us, we don't want to reinvent any wheels, because if you can get the resources you need somewhere else, we want to tell you about that so that we can help you with the other things you're going to need, because you will have other things that you need. So yes, we have our families are very well connected on social. We have like a private page for them. So a lot of times they can be like, hey, I'm looking for this, or I need a good recommendation for this. And then they help each other, which is just amazing to watch.
Yeah.
So
it's a whole different kind of support system.
yes, exactly. From people who get it. And that's what they always say. It's like, wow, they love to like be with each other and meet each other because they know that they get it.
So, aside from buying a raffle ticket for this bike, how can people help you?
Oh, well, if you live in Virginia or West Virginia, there's lots of ways to get involved. So we're based in Virginia, but we have a very much growing chapter here in West Virginia that's growing exponentially, actually. And there's lots of ways to volunteer and help out there. And we have fundraisers coming up that you can attend. But, in general, one of the things that we want to do is always stand ready, so that when families that reach out to us ask for help, we don't have to make them fill out. We have no red tape.
Right.
So that's one of my goals, is that the families that reach out to us have no red tape, that we can say yes without them waiting for 3 months until we can do it. So we always say that, if you stand by us, we can stand by them. And so one of the best ways, honestly, is to make a donation or become a monthly donor. Even $10, $20 a month makes a difference, because that's a consistent source of funds for us, so that we can consistently support them. So
yeah, and if people take a peek at the website, what's the website? Throw it out.
Well, www.sweetjoyofgrace.org.
Yeah, I was looking through there, the sections where you have all these different ideas and things that people do. It's really cool.
Right.
I saw some of them and I was like, I would not have thought of that.
I know, me neither. Yeah, we've been, everything from like the chamber actually here we were the beneficiary for a food truck festival a few years ago. We have a motorcycle club who does a poker run for us. They have a poker run. We benefit from it. We have another group who does a murder mystery party once a year, and they benefit us. We've got kids who do lemonade stands. It's like, it's all the way from motorcycles to choppers to lemonade stands. We love any partner who has a heart for giving back. So
I think it was the murder mystery was specifically the one I was like, no way.
Yeah, no.
Wow, I just learned something about Mike.
Yeah, he wants to go to a murder mystery party. Take him.
Murder. Guess we're going to Virginia.
Yeah, that's right. There you go. There you go.
Yeah, so guys, you can go to www.sweetjuliagrace.org, check out everything they do. There's some really great informative videos. If you haven't checked it out, make sure you do so. You can also go at Sweet Julia Grace on the social medias to find everything they're doing and everything they're up to. So, Sarah, thanks for coming to the shop. Thanks for coming to see the chopper.
Does the chopper have a name yet?
Yes,
It's the rain
The
dancer.
rain dancer.
Oh, it is the rain dancer.
Yeah.
Aw. Pedro, Betty, and the rain dancer.
Yeah, that's
Seems like a good movie.
I
does. All right, guys. So that's the full interview. This is a long format video. I really wanted you to hear the entire story. I apologize because there wasn't a center camera. I had an issue with the camera and it didn't record properly, so I was unable to use the footage. I also I hope you didn't get bothered too much by Sadie and Harley knocking at the window trying to get in and do what dogs do best. But again, guys, that's the story. That's why Sweet Julia Grace does what Sweet Julia Grace does. That's why Sarah and her family jumped headfirst into this. And that's why we're building this bike and why we want to have a continued relationship with them going forward. So again, if you want to get a ticket for the raffle, it's www.sweetjuliagrace.org/chopper. That's where you can get all the information. You can also find it at Pedro and Betty's Big Revival on Instagram. You can just search that. You can go to at Sweet Julia Grace and find them on Instagram too. All the information's there. Don't hesitate to send us a DM to get more information if you're having any issues with it or anything like that. Again, Mike and I thank you. We're stoked that we get to do this. We're stoked about the future of Pedro and Betty's and our relationship with Sweet Julia Grace. And we're just really, really, really glad that you're here. So remember, guys, if you can't be good at it. Go get your hands dirty and build something. Keep chopping.